Welcome everybody back to the channel. Yes, the real Rant Reviewer. I'm back with another Rant review. It's an awesome Rant review on Brothers, 2009's Brothers, with Jake Gyllenhaal, Tobey Maguire, and Natalie Portman. Guys, I gotta do this movie because I saw this movie back in 2009, 2010-ish, and I have to just say, like, I was spoilers ahead, of course. You know my videos. I give my thoughts on the movie, then I go through the plot, and we wrap this fucking rant up. I advise you to see this movie once. All right, see it once, if not twice or three times, just for the end of the movie. You know what I mean? Just watch it once for the end of this fucking movie, because Tobey Maguire puts on the performance of a lifetime. And in this movie, Brothers, I don't care if you have a brother, you don't have a brother, whatever you have, a friend, a fucking pet, whatever you got. You know a connection here with these brothers, and you feel it. Um, they do a good job in making you feel it. Gyllenhaal, I love Jake Gyllenhaal. I'm biased, guys. I love Jake Gyllenhaal and everything he does most of the time. But in this movie, I like him because he plays the brother very well, and he plays like he cares about his little brother. I believe he's the littler brother. I don't know, but either way, he cares about his brother a lot. It seems like he does, but it doesn't, because the dad, because they have this like this weird relationship, guys. All three of them, the dad and the brothers here. It's like a handshake relationship, not a hug relationship. If you know what I'm saying? It's not an I love you relationship. It's more like goodbye. And here we go. We see Mr. McGuire here losing his shit on the new kitchen that his brother built while he was away in Afghanistan, presumably dead. So when we get into the plot, but that basically, guys, they do a great job, Gyllenhaal and McGuire, of making you believe that they are brothers, and the family dynamic there in the beginning, and then when he comes back from war, also then the relationship is it's a tense thing, guys. And you when we go through the plot, you'll know why you'll know why a gun is being pointed at Mr. Gyllenhaal by Mr. McGuire here in his fucking cheek, or in his temple, basically in his ear, letting him know, did he fuck his wife? That's what he wants to know. Guys, let's go with the plot. Fuck my thoughts. So the plot is this. I'm gonna do the best I can. I do have Wikipedia up. This movie did not make gross a lot of money, and I'm thinking the reason is because of the title. Number one, Brothers. A lot of movies are called Brothers, guys, and you got to separate yourself from that, with the fucking title that sticks out. I mean, you have to. And you have Gyllenhaal, you have McGuire, and you also have Portman, who doesn't do much in the movie, but she's there. She's a name, and she does a performance. She feels for Mr. McGuire. You can feel that she loves him, and she also has feelings for Gyllenhaal, so she does well. But you gotta title it something else, man. Anything else but Brothers. Title this shit a fucking bag of shit. And people would still go see it because it has Gyllenhaal, McGuire, and a great story and a great ending, and great acting. So that would have made money. That would have brought people in. Another name for this movie. Please, whoever is marketing this movie, I mean, what are you doing? Like, who did you hire? Definitely the wrong people, the PR people, or whatever the fuck is. I'm not in depth and all that. All I do is watch them and we review them, and that's what we're paid to do, isn't it, people? We pay to fucking review these movies because we pay to see them. And be fucking, so I'm telling you to pay. This movie is payable to see. That's for sure. There's no doubt about it. They would have made more if they would have changed the title. I'm going on a fucking other rant. I'm supposed to be going on the plot, but these thoughts came into my head, and this is what we do. So we fucking rant. I'm the real Rant Reviewer, baby. So yeah. So they got to do a new title, anyways. And then did I think the pacing was all right? Like, they could have had more scenes that were like more interesting. I think more interesting, and I think the storyline with it was good, the storyline with Gyllenhaal and the wife and all this, but I don't know. I have a lot more thoughts on how they could, of course, do it, but I'm not a fucking director or writer. I'm just a fucking rant reviewer. So let's go to the plot. Basically, you meet Mr. Tobey Maguire here. I'm not going to refer to them to their real names. If I do, excuse me if I mix up. Who gives a shit? You can refer to Tobey Maguire, and here's his wife, Mrs. Portman, and you see them with their two children. Now, Mr. Maguire has a father and a brother who is Jake Gyllenhaal, and Jake Gyllenhaal is the kind of brother that's, I think he's the older brother. Oh, this is a great fucking scene, guys. Can't wait till we get to it. Classic quote, classic line. I don't know why it's not quoted enough, why it's not memed enough. This is a fucking performance of a lifetime for anyone, let alone Mr. McGuire. So, anyways, Gyllenhaal and him are, you could see their relationship in the beginning before Mr. McGuire is sent off to Afghanistan. That is his assignment. Before he's sent off, he has plans with his wife, so as you see here in the kitchen, to redo the kitchen and do all these things when he gets back. So Um, but when he's away, you kind of thinking like, well, yeah, of course, Mr. Gyllenhaal. But see, Mr. Gyllenhaal's brother has a lot of problems, and he's not looked at. He's like the black sheep of the family, And Mr. McGuire here, he's looking at the golden boy. So he's going off to war. He goes off to war, guys. Okay. And in the meantime, Mr. Gyllenhaal is kind of like, watching over Mr. McGuire's family for him, which is great. That's what you want a brother to do. And in this movie, Mr. Gyllenhaal plays the brother role perfecto. He does not overstep a line. Now, you can comment, please, down below and not argue with me, but we can conversate or have your opinion on it. I'd love to hear it. There is a little scene, but we'll get to it. So, but when he's at war, guys, what happens is something happens. There's a explosion. There's a fight, a battle. They presume Mr. McGuire dead. Okay, so Mr. McGuire's body is never found. He is presumed dead, though. Not missing, maybe missing, but they presume him fucking dead by just the way the fucking scene is of where this platoon or some shit went through. But really, we know he's been captured, guys, along with another teammate of his or another mate of his. So another military partner there, squadron soldier. So he's kidnapped with this other guy by some soldiers, some Afghan soldiers, and they're tortured and stuff and put into a hole for a couple of months or what have you. So during these months where he's presumed dead, when he's being tortured with his friend here in Afghanistan, Mr. Gyllenhaal in America is liking the life that McGuire has. He put himself in McGuire's shoes while he's gone, and now he really likes it, and so does the family. The kids like Mr. Gyllenhaal a lot, kind of a lot more than Mr. McGuire, and even and the wife as well. There's a scene where they're smoking a little bit of a doobie, and there's a kiss that's shared because there's some old feelings or there's feelings there, and they're finally able to talk a little bit, and the feelings are able to come to fruition, like kind of like the fire that they're sitting by in the scene. It's kind of able to spark up and finally burn them both with a kiss. Now, that's cheating, yes. I mean, it's technically cheating, but there's no other boundaries. After Mr. Gyllenhaal and Portman realize what they've done, they do regret it instantly and step away from each other, guys. So you got to respect that. And now this is where it gets Mr. Gyllenhaal in trouble, though, guys. This is where get anyone in trouble. You don't fucking do that, even if your intentions are not the baddest of intentions. There's still, to someone else, their cruel intentions. If it gets out, it doesn't matter how the fuck you look at it. It's how they look at it. That's his wife. Anyways, after that scene, guys, you switch to Mr. McGuire here with this guy that was captured, and these soldiers force Mr. McGuire on camera or something to kill his friend, to kill his partner with a pipe, to basically beat him to death on camera or whatever. And McGuire does it. Okay, he kills him because he's thinking about his kids and they're taunting him about his family. And it's a that's always, guys, it's always a personal thing, a fucking personal thing. If you're in that position, it's always up to you. Leave a comment down below on what would you do in Mr. McGuire's. I know what I would have done in Mr. McGuire's spot, but I'm not going to say it. Maybe if you want me to on more rants, I will, but fuck that. This movie he did what is about McGuire here, and he did it. He chose to kill his friend, and it ended up in a weird way. This is the part here where they're telling him to do it. You can tell he's like, oh, fuck at me. But shortly after he does it, guys, U.S. soldiers come in and see this little shit going down, and they come in and save Mr. McGuire. So just in the nick of fucking time, because they probably would have killed Mr. McGuire anyways. So that's my thought of it. They would have killed McGuire anyways. But the army comes and saves Mr. McGuire. Mrs. Portman gets a phone call that Mr. McGuire is alive and he is found. So he is coming home. Mr. Gyllenhaal is informed. Everyone's kind of on edge. They don't know what to expect, and neither do you. But Mr. McGuire comes home, and he is not the same. He is very quiet. He's subdued. He's very paranoid, guys. He has a lot of PTSD from the trauma that he experienced in his travels. We saw what he went through. So he can't come out with it. He can't, because he killed his friend, and the friend has a wife who just had a baby who's friends with his wife. So she comes over and he sees the baby and he knows what he's done and all this shit. She's asking him, did he say anything in his last moments? All this shit, and he's got to lie, and it's really eating the fuck out of him, right? It's really eating him, the guilt that he's a hero, though, that he survived, but everybody's calling him a hero, but really he killed his friend. So Mr. Gyllenhaal is trying to get it out of him, or not get it out of him, but trying to be there for him. But what happens is they're sitting down in this one scene here, guys. I don't have it up now, but it's a beautiful scene. It's snowing, and McGuire. This is where things are gonna. This is bad. McGuire's like, did you, hey, thanks for looking after my wife, and Gyllenhaal's like, yeah, sure, no problem, buddy. Brother. And McGuire's like, would you fuck her? And he's like, what? Just like my reaction would be, I laugh, and I said, what? And he says, did you fuck her? And he's like, it's okay, you can tell me. Did you fuck her? And Gyllenhaal is just stunned by this, and he's like, but no, we know, guys, that he kissed her, and we know that he wanted to, so he's got it. You see him, it was really good acting by Gyllenhaal, because he's like, no, he's trying to tell him that he's making it up crazy, McGuire, but you don't want to say that to Tobey at this moment. He don't want to, because he's lying, Gyllenhaal's lying. He did kiss his wife, but he doesn't tell him that. So McGuire is very, very suspicious. He also hints to his wife throughout the end of this movie here, towards the end, that he might know something or something happened. When he saw the kitchen, guys, the brand new kitchen, I didn't mention that Mr. Gyllenhaal here remodeled while Mr. McGuire was away on warfare, being tortured in his own kitchen of Hell's Kitchen. Fucking McGuire comes back and sees this new kitchen, and there's something about it. I don't know. He just doesn't like it or something. I don't know. You could tell he's just like not feeling it. But the kids aren't feeling McGuire. His wife isn't feeling McGuire. Gyllenhaal's not feeling McGuire. McGuire's not feeling McGuire. So finally one night it all comes to a head, guys. And this is the night. This is the scene you see here. He's in the brand new kitchen, and he's questioning his wife on why she fucked Mr. Gyllenhaal, his brother, while he was away in Afghanistan, doing the most, suffering and doing the most heinous of acts to survive, to come home to this family, to remodel this kitchen together. But no, Mr. Gyllenhaal here did it. See, you wanted me dead, you wanted me gone, and you wanted Mr. Gyllenhaal instead, and you fucked him, and that's what it was. See, and that's when he goes off, guys, and he keeps going on it, and she's telling him no, but he won't hear it, and he's going nuts. He's got a gun in his hand, but before he picks up the gun, guys, he's got his hands, and he's saying, you know what I did with these hands? Do you know what I did with these hands? And he's breaking the whole fucking kitchen up, the brand new kitchen, with those hands, that he's done with these things, with these hands. And it's a great quote. It's a great scene. It's intense. When I saw this movie, I was not expecting this moment from Tobey Maguire, nonetheless, and I was not expecting it to end this way. I did not know. This was fucking rocking me. And so as he's rocking the kitchen and destroying it with his hands and telling her what he's done with his hands, she's trying to calm him down. As you've seen there, he picks up a gun, and this is when Mr. Gyllenhaal comes in, guys, his brother, of all fucking people. His brother comes in, and this is a tense scene. This is crazy, because as a brother, I would come in as well. So even if my brother had a gun or a bazooka, you know what I mean, or if he was in a fucking tank, I'd have to come in and try to stop this, because I have to save my brother's life, or save you're saving your brother's life no matter what. If you hurt someone else, or you're saving everyone. There's kids in the house. This is stop this. So Gyllenhaal, and when Tobey sees him, he's like, what are you doing here? And this is kind of weird. He just shows up, right? But he had a feeling. He's his brother. So he shows up. You think they're going to have a moment. Gyllenhaal tries to have that moment with Mr. McGuire, but Mr. McGuire fucking believes that he fucked his wife, guys. And he just puts the gun, like as you see in the picture, to Mr. Gyllenhaal's fucking... I've never seen Jake Gyllenhaal like squatted like that, like like a little puppy dog. Mr. McGuire has him dead to rights with the gun to his head, and Mr. Gyllenhaal's still not coming clean about anything. Anyways, Mr. McGuire hears the sirens outside. Someone has called the police. I believe it was Mr. Gyllenhaal, his own brother, has called the police. That's what it is. And he goes outside because he says, "Oh, you called the fucking police, huh?" So he goes outside with the gun, Mr. McGuire. And this is where it gets you, man, because when he's coming outside with the gun to face the police, the only outcome here, guys, is suicide by cop, or, offing himself completely. As you see here, Mrs. Portman is screaming at him, and his brother is telling the police, don't shoot. He's my brother. Don't shoot. But see, in my opinion, the scene was done great, because it left me on edge, and it ends that way. It ends with McGuire still going crazy, yelling at the police to shoot him, because he wants his suffering to be over, like his friends is over. He thinks he deserves to die. He deserves this, and he wants it. And then they cut the scene, see? So that's the end of that intense scene. Now, I want to break down just a little bit, because if I was Gyllenhaal there, and no, you don't want to move because I know the cops are pointing guns at your brother, and if you move, you could get shot as well. I don't know. I've always moved. I've had family members that are cops have been on top of or grabbed or had it, whatever has been the case, and my natural reaction instinct, brotherly or brother, whatever you want to say, family is to react and move and protect, and to jump on, But so they could play that a little better because I thought that was going to happen, either those two things or maybe Mr. Gyllenhaal getting involved and getting shot himself to save his brother. But that didn't happen. Anyways, they cut the scene with Mr. McGuire yelling at the cops to shoot him. They cut it to black, and you come here to figure out, yes, Mr. McGuire goes in. He does not shoot himself. The cops do not shoot him. He's able to find a place to get medical help for veterans, and he's able to tell his wife what he did to his friend in Afghanistan, and he's able to come clean and release his guilt to his wife, and that's where the movie ends. Cut of Brothers, the end of Brothers 2009. Guys, do you know what I've done with these hands? Come on, watch this fucking movie. All right, this rant has been long enough. Thanks for listening, guys. See you on the next one.